next to Jeff. Nobody crank your neck around, but please.
Or not. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Oh, I love this. My name's Jeff White, and I'm a member of the board of directors of the fellowship. And I want to thank you all for being here today and extend a special welcome to visitors and passersby. And say that if you want to learn more about the fellowship, you can check with the table in the fireside room, or you can look at online, ufames.org/guestbook. And that'll give you some more information about the fellowship and its people. Whether you're joining us from home or you're here in the fellowship hall, we invite you to stay afterwards for coffee fellowship, and where you can introduce yourself and join with other people to discuss and have conversation with kindred spirits. We have just one announcement. There's an art reception this Tuesday from 6 to 8 p.m. What did I say?
It was last week.
Oh, January 26th. Thank you. I didn't even notice the date. Okay. No announcements. Freddie did. Okay. It's beautiful. And so on behalf of this caring and nurturing congregation, I welcome each and every one of you to this sacred space. And here we invite you to an experience of transformation, hope, renewal, connections, which may inspire you to see life in new and different ways. Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Today for our service, we have turned to face each other, to create a circle of community and to feel the power of our connectedness. Reverend Kelly invites us to consider ritual as a container in which something happens, in this case, where we create stronger bonds with each other and the most essential elements of nature. Soon we will call the directions, a practice that comes to us from pagan and indigenous cultures, traditions, which are grounded in respect and reverence for nature. Each of the directions is associated with an element of the natural world and represents some part of our human nature as well. Some of you may enjoy this mystical and poetic practice. But if you're one who finds it a little too woo-hoo, the invitation here is to participate with an open mind. Let yourself go with it, and not to get too hung up on the factual applications. We are creating a space together and holding each other and our planet in care. For our purposes today, we are going beyond mere words to do so. You'll be asked to rise in body or spirit and turn to face the east, which for us here in Fellowship Hall is the window wall. Then we'll turn a quarter turn to the south, the west, and the north, and back to the center. And each time, repeat the words, "Welcome, spirits of the direction we face." 2 notes for us. If you are unable to stand and or turn, please sit comfortably where you are and don't try to crane your neck around in that direction. Take care of your bodies first. And for folks online, you may wish to identify which direction is east from where you sit and follow along with us as we move. We can't do this wrong, and all levels of participation are welcome. Now please stand as you are able and face east.
Oops, sorry.
Spirits of the East, we welcome your clear light of the morning, the air of springtime, the breath of inspiration. Imbue us with energy for the community of all living things of which we are a part. Welcome, Spirits of the East.
Welcome, spirits of the East.
Turn 1/4 to your right. Spirits of the South, we welcome your bright light of noonday sun, the heat of summer, the fire of creativity. Instill in us the passion for our planet and for each other. Welcome, Spirits of the South.
Welcome, spirits of the South.
Turn 1/4 to your right. Spirits of the West, we welcome your sweet, lingering light of dusk, the water of emotion that flows within and among us as community. Saturate us with reverence for all the precious waters of life. Welcome, Spirits of the West.
Welcome, spirits of the West.
Turn 1/4 to your right. Spirits of the North, we welcome your deepest dark of midnight, the mysteries of the earth and stone and bone. Permeate us with the strength and resilience of our ancestors. Welcome, spirits of the North.
Welcome, spirits of the North. And please turn toward the center. Spirits of the center, we welcome you as timeless and complete, the place where love prevails. Infuse us with the peace and humility that comes from openness to all wisdom. Welcome, spirits of the center. Welcome, spirits of the center. The circle is cast. While we're standing, let's sing together. Come, come, whoever you are. The words are in your gray hymnal, number 188, but they're also up on the screen if you like. And we'll sing this a few times through, and if you care to pick up the round on it, come right ahead. Please, Peggy. Got that. I'm going to come back up here to our blue carpets for a little time for all ages. And hello. I see our young ones already know what to do. No instructions needed.
Yeah, we come here every week.
You come here every week. Hi. So here's what I want to talk about a little bit today is what we just did in calling the directions. Have you done this many times before? A few times before? Imagine that you are out in the woods and you come upon a circle of trees, kind of a grove of trees. And you by yourself or with your friends or your siblings or your cousins decide that you want to have a little ritual. Maybe you want to sing a song. Maybe you want to play an instrument. Maybe you want to say some gratitudes. That's always a good little ritual thing to do. And you decide, this place feels too big. I am in the great outdoors. Some people use that for God. Great outdoors. Ah, it really is a time for all ages. You decide this space feels too big, but you've got this nice grove of trees. Calling the directions is a nice way to put some boundaries around your space. To say, I'm going to turn to the east, and then to the south, and then to the west, and then to the north, and draw a circle right around here. So I don't feel like everything goes everywhere. It's in this circle right here of the directions. Now, you could take a stick and actually draw a circle, which is also kind of a nice thing to do, right?
Right, north, south, east, west to make a giant compass.
To write north, south, east, west to make a giant compass. Exactly. Those directions are always there for us, and it's nice to know where they are. Okay, each of the directions is connected to one of the elements. So the east is air. That's the correspondence. East is air, it's morning. What are some things in your body that feel like air? Lungs. What comes out of your lungs? Your breath. Your breath, right? So when I look to the east, I think of air, and I also think of inspiration. Inspiration is kind of connected to air. When we turn to the south, the key element there is fire. What feels like fire? Anger? What else maybe? Madness? Yep, when you're mad. When you're really tired of hiking and your feet feel like they're about to fall off, they may feel like fire, right? You know what I think of when I think of fire? I think of creativity and passion. Like when I really want to do something a lot, whether it's build that new Lego kit, or I really need to draw, or I am so close to getting that run on the piano and I have to practice it. My fingers can be like fire. Like passion and creativity feels like fire to me. When we go to the west, our key element is water. What feels like water for us? Sleep. Spit. Spit is a good one. Blood. Tears. Tears. I think of the emotion of water. You know how water moves and it's flexible, and our emotions can be flexible and move, and our tears, both tears of joy and tears of sadness. And somebody said blood. Our blood also has water. You know, we are made of water.
Yeah, we're like 90% water or something.
Yeah, like a lot. Okay, and then we're not checking facts here. And then we're going to the north. And the key element for the north is the earth and stone and ice. What's the hardest thing in your body? Bones. Bones. So the north is midnight, it's bones, it's earth, and you know what I think of is our ancestors. What connects me to the earth? The other people who have lived here before me, right? And so then we turn to the center, and the center is all wisdom, right? So we have not only what we know in our heads, our knowledge, but our internal wisdom is there also. So this is a practice that I like a lot. And I do it here maybe once a quarter or so. We talk about our calling our directions, and we'll do it more often. But if this appeals to you, you can always call the directions and feel like you are we are always all the time surrounded by nature, but this is a way to name it. Now, we're going to sing you guys out. But while we're in here, we're going to, later in the service, we're going to close those directions. So if you want to, later in the day, you can say thank you to the east, well, to the north and the west and the south and the east. Thank you for their gifts, and you can close the circle on your own. Okay? Thanks. Let's do it again sometime. Okay, let's sing them out. Time for our offering. And each month, we give half of our non-pledge offering to a local organization, service agency, etc. This month, in February, half of our non-pledge offering will be donated to the Ames chapter of the NAACP. Their advocates commit to raising awareness for education and social and economic equality for communities of color in the electoral and legislative process. Here in this space, we say that diversity, equity, and inclusion matter. Put that out on the web. The other half of the offering will support programs here in our fellowship that make this a place of community, of spiritual growth, of love and justice. We pass the baskets here in Fellowship Hall, but alternately, for those of you at home or those with a cell phone, you can go to uufames.org to give today or any day. And if you're visiting today, please know that your presence with us is gift enough. Oh, friends, we gather with hearts sore and knees weak. We watch our beloved country beleaguered by greed, mendacity, malice, and we feel powerless in the face of this evil. As we look across the circle, we see each other and we see our pain reflected in each other's faces. And we know that we are not alone in this feeling of grief, this pressure that sits on our chest, this sense of unknowing. For me, this is why we come. I want to say specifically today that our hearts are with all who were affected by the crash of the American Airlines flight and the Army helicopter in Washington, D.C. this week. The victims, their friends and loved ones, the first responders, the city of Wichita, the city of Washington, D.C. We mourn with all of these. And from our member Bob Andrews, who says, "My nephew Bill Fine is receiving treatment for severe depression in Texas. Bill's sister died of suicide a couple of years ago. We hold good thoughts for Bill, and we express gratitude for your lifting up the need for mental health care, for normalizing the need for mental health care. In this shared sacred space that we create together here, let's lift up into our shared quiet time names of people or groups that we are particularly holding close today so that they are invited into our circle of love and belonging. Trans folks. We practice opening our hearts as wide as they can be while we hold all of these names, spoken and unspoken, as part of our circle of love and belonging. Let's sing together. Today marks the season of Imbolc, which means in the belly. It is the midpoint between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. We're getting there. The days are getting a little longer. We can feel the light coming. And today we honor Brigid, or Breed, depending on how you say it. There are various ways to say her name. She's the triple goddess, the Celtic triple goddess of healing, poetry, and smithcraft. Today we have 3 readers who will share poems for us from Paul Laurence Dunbar, from Cole Arthur Riley, and from our beloved Mary Oliver. Kay, will you read for us? Just a moment and you'll get the microphone.
This is Invitation to Love by Paul Laurence Dunbar. Come when the nights are bright with stars, or come when the moon is mellow. Come when the sun his golden bars drops on the hayfield yellow. Come in the twilight soft and grey. Come in the night or come in the day. Come, O love, wherever you may, and you are welcome, welcome. You are sweet, O love, dear love. You are soft as the nesting dove. Come to my heart and bring it to rest, as the bird flies home to its welcome nest. Come when my heart is full of grief, or when my heart is merry. Come with the falling of the leaf, or with the reddening cherry. Come when the year's first blossom blows. Come when the summer gleams and glows. Come with the winter's drifting snows, and you are welcome, welcome.
Our next reader will be online, and so it may take just a moment. Oh, Ronnie's here.
This is a quote from poet Cole Arthur Riley, and Kelly's asked me to read it twice so that everyone will be sure to hear the words that he said. Exclusion operates by the same rule of mutuality as welcome, for it harms both the excluded and the excluder. If you are the hands of exclusion for long enough, you learn acceptance only at the hands of someone else's exile. You learn belonging as competition, not restoration. It is also a kind of restlessness, for the energy you expend forbidding others to walk through the door of community is only matched by the energy you expend competing to stay inside yourself. This may be more dangerous. No one ever perceives the doorkeeper as needing an invitation themselves. And the second time, exclusion operates by the same rule of mutuality as welcome, for it harms both the excluded and the excluder. If you are the hands of exclusion for long enough, you learn acceptance only at the hands of someone else's exile. You learn belonging as competition, not as restoration. It is also a kind of restlessness, for the energy you expend forbidding others to walk through the door of community is only matched by the energy you expend competing to stay inside yourself. This may be more dangerous. No one ever perceives the doorkeeper as needing an invitation themselves.
Wild Geese by Mary Oliver. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over to announce your place in the family of things.
Excuse me. Some of you may know that I was part of a women's ritual circle for many years. I've mentioned this before. We met on the new moon and the full moon, and we honored the goddess tradition. I was newly sober and a brand new Unitarian Universalist who wanted to answer the question that I find implied in the 12 steps. How do I understand God? I was sure that it wasn't that old man in the sky that I grew up with. And entering space with these wise women and focusing on the mythical divinity of the goddess was my way past the healing scars of my fundamentalist past. My way into healing the scars of my fundamentalist past. We sang and we danced, and it was very woo-woo. And it changed me. It changed all of us. It healed us, and that healing was communal. We were in it together. One of my favorite goddesses that we talked about during that time was Brigid or Breed, the Celtic goddess of poetry, healing, and smithcraft, known in Ireland as the Mary of Ireland, the mother goddess. Several of you have sent me your connections to Breed and her symbols. A healing cloth known as Breed's mantle, Breed's cross made of rushes or dried grasses, her eternal flame and her many wells that are dotted throughout the landscape of Ireland. Breed was a pagan mother goddess who was co-opted by the Catholic Church as Saint Brigid of Kildare, probably by Christian monks sometime in the 12th century. Here's one song we sang for her. I'll sing it a few times. Join me when you feel it. Here, the lyric is, "We will never, never lose our way to the well of her memory and the power of her living flame. It will rise again." We will never, never lose our way to the well of her memory and the power of her living flame. It will rise again. We will never, never lose our way to the well of her memory and the power of her living flame. It will rise again. We will never, bring some harmony, never lose our way to the well of her memory and the power of her living flame. It will rise again. Oh, I can see that one for Women in the Round sometime. I can see that coming in again. We've heard poetry. I'm curious about how these three things that seem very far apart, poetry and healing and smithcraft, how do they relate to each other? Well, I spent some time thinking about that. I think of all of them related to her fire, the fire of her living flame, and how all of these things are related to fire. And so I'm looking at you, Lynn, as a poet. As a poet, you're not several poets here, and how fire, you have to pass your ideas through the fire of thought to get that metaphor, the fire of feeling, to find just the right metaphor, to find the wild geese announcing our place in the family of things. Poetry, the love that Paul Dunbar talks about, he has to have a kind of fire of thought to bring us those words in just that order. There's something essential about poetry, isn't there? There's nothing extra. There are no extra words. You have to distill it down, and that's a process, I think, of heat, to distill to the essential, the most essential words. What about healing? How does heat relate to healing? Now I may ask you to check my facts. I looked it up. It's not always good to have a fever, but a fever can be our internal, come on, here's the word I have it. Our internal heat as a natural defense mechanism that our bodies can use to fight infection. If you have a wound, early in the healing process of the wound, you may touch it, and it may be warm. That's the action of the white blood cells fighting germs and bacteria. I am not a doctor and I don't play one in a service. If you have a lot of heat on your wound, please see a doctor. You may have an infection. And healing happens in community. Our isolation can be cold. Our isolation can be cold. But we create we bring energy here and create together a change in ourselves. We come to change and be changed, to soothe our parched spirits. We're going to do a simple healing ritual now, and I want you to stay with me. Let's see how this works. Say these words with me. First, healing is communal, and then we are in this together. Healing is communal. We are in this together. We're going to pass some bowls of lotion, hand lotion. This is a nice, not very scented emollient lotion. It's got a little aloe in it. And here's how it's going to work. First, let me tell you, if you do not wish to be touched with this lotion, you do not have to participate. Just put your hands over your chest like this, but you will repeat the words. But if you don't feel comfortable having someone touch you with just a little bit of lotion, you don't have to. I'm going to hold this in my hand. I'm going to touch just a tiny bit. Just a dab will do you. Don't get in there and get a big old glob. You don't want that. And I'm going to touch Ben. He's put his open palm to me. You can either have it in your palm or on the back of your hand, as you wish. And I'm going to say, healing is communal. And he will say,
we are in this together.
And then he's going to take the bowl to the person on his right. Okay? And we're going to see how this works as we go around. We have a towel. If something drops, it's fine. It's no worries. And we will have this healing ritual with each other. Folks online, I've asked if you could have some lotion near you, and so give yourselves the benefit of a very nice, good, give yourself some hand lotion and do that if you like. And say with us, healing is communal, and we are in this together. We'll go toward the right, and Barb's going to play, and let's see how this works. Clockwise, sunwise, clockwise. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's see how this happens. Would you come to this group over here? who wanted lotion get some lotion?
Healing is communal.
We are in this together. Thank you. Isn't that nice to be touched by each other, either physically or ritually, communally, tenderly? Again, this is why we come, to touch each other communally, tenderly, in a healing way. And I'm always the lady who has lotion. If you ever need lotion, come see me. And what of Smithcraft? How does this relate to healing? How does Smithcraft relate to healing? Say some of the ways that you think of people who are smiths. What are some of the kinds of smiths that you know of? Blacksmith. Silver. Woodsmith. Gold. Agent Smith, FBI. Okay, good. Blacksmith. Platinum. A wordsmith. Tin. All kinds of metals.
I would like fibers to be in here. I don't think there's a thing called a fiber smith, but it's a craft. And it's
It is.
so essential to our needs.
All right, we can have Fibersmith. Absolutely have.
Look at the Amber over here. She's a
Right, and there's knitting. There was knitting happening right behind you. Yes, Fibersmith. I didn't know, when I was looking up Smiths, I thought Aerosmith. Oh, Aerosmith. What a clever name for a band. It sends the message, right? Right. There are locksmiths and ironsmiths and gunsmiths. And in the comedy world, they talk about jokesmiths, right? 2 weeks ago, inspired by Stephanie Spellers, who said that she lived a Jesus-shaped life. I asked what the shape of our lives might be. What would a chalice-shaped life be? What if we have a love-shaped life? If smithies shape the raw materials, if smiths shape the raw materials, what if we are shapers of love? 3 quotes might inspire us here. I had them all right in order. Martin Luther King, paraphrasing Unitarian minister Theodore Parker, said, "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice." Barack Obama said, "It does not bend by itself. It bends because we put our hands to it and bend it toward justice." And Cornel West said, "Justice is what love looks like in public." So we go from the moral arc of the universe to putting our hands on it, to creating a circle of love. I'm really moved by that progression. What if we are lovesmiths? What would that mean for us to be lovesmith? If UUF Ames is our forge, where we bring the raw materials of our lives and use the light of truth and the warmth of community and the fire of commitment to shape change, to shape each other, change in ourselves and in each other and in our community and in the wider world. What if we hone our craft and use our tools and sharpen our values and build our courage and keep creating and keep creating and keep creating brave space and safe space to be vulnerable together, to repent and repair, to be transformed? If we're not doing that here, I'm not sure what we're doing. We come through different seasons of our lives. Sometimes it is your season to be held as you navigate your own grief, held by your friends here. Sometimes it is our season to lead, to say, I've got a vision to join with other vision. Sometimes it is a time to be the holder of memory for our space. Sometimes it is the time to be prophetic and call other people forward to their best selves. Sometimes it's our time to teach. It is our time to be with our youth. Sometimes it's our time to speak, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes we come here to get our buckets filled for the good work that we go and do in the world. And sometimes we come to find out what's coming out of the forge and how we can take that and use it for transformation in the world. If we leave here today the same as we came in, there are a lot of other things you could do on a Sunday morning. We come here to be transformed, to come with our full and vulnerable selves to this forge of love, so that we can be renewed, refilled, refired to go out in the world and take that with us. May we be guided by Breed, inspired by words passed through the fire of thought, by poetry to know the world in new ways. May we be guided by Breed to ever know that healing is communal, that we create energy and healing and solutions together, more together than we could ever do alone. And may we be guided by Breed to bank the forge of transformation as the lovesmiths that we are. So mote it be. Let's sing together. Love will guide us. Please stand as you are able, and let's be guided by love. Seated. I'll say a few gratitudes. Gratitude is good ritual. Thank you to our musicians, Barb Evenson and Peggy Earnshaw. Oh, there's Barb, there you go. Our tech team, Dan Haug and Melissa Neeson. Facilitators and readers, Ben Willeen, Tegan Willeen, Madison Mayfield, Kay Puddock, Christopher Chase, and Ronnie Kahn. And special help from Riordan Willeen. Thank you very much. Thank you to all our coffee servers and treat bringers and our cleanup crew. It takes a lot of folks to do a Sunday morning. There's a place for you in that group. Let's give them all a round of applause. Beautiful. And now we will close the circle in the opposite way that we called it. So please stand as you are able and face the center. Spirits of the center, thank you for helping us enkindle wisdom and peace. Hail and farewell, spirits of the center.
Hail and farewell, spirits of the center.
And we turn toward the north, the back wall here.
Spirits of the north, thank you for helping us spark the strength of the earth and of the ancestors. Hail and farewell, spirits of the north.
Hail and farewell, spirits of the north.
Spirits of the west, thank you for helping us blaze with reverence for the waters of life. Hail and farewell, spirits of the west.
Hail and farewell, spirits of the west.
Spirits of the south, thank you for helping us stoke the fire of passion for our planet. Hail and farewell, spirits of the south.
Hail and farewell, spirits of the south.
Spirits of the east, thank you for helping us glow with inspiration and energy to protect all living things. Hail and farewell, spirits of the east.
Hail and farewell, spirits of the east. And turn back toward the center as we say, the circle is open but unbroken. Merry meet and merry part and merry meet again.